Well, I'm back with an update just like I promised I would be in mine, now that we've gotten everything in my previous post out of the way. Which I hope will have helped give some of you at least an idea of what I'm going through, that I'm not crazy. I think I'm ready to start getting into the reason that I'm really here. Honestly, the start of this whole thing isn't actually the day I found it, but about a week before. For as many people that thought Carly and I are fakers or suffering from some coinciding mental break, there was just as many people who took us seriously, or at least said they did. So under some of our more recent posts which have had a disturbing uptake, weird stuff. There's been a lot of comments about rumors of different supernatural locations, even people commenting about their own experiences, asking us to make a video to prove to their friends or their family that they aren't lying to them. I can sympathize with that one. My brother called me recently. I haven't mentioned any of this stuff to him, but he checks out the videos every once in a while. And let's just say when some of his friends at work came up to him talking about how his little sister had lost her rocker, he was more than a little concerned. He asked me if it was all fake. I told him it wasn't and he didn't believe me. Then he asked me if I was on drugs. About when he tried to convince me to go to therapy is when I hung up the phone. Even if secretly I was considering the same thing, but I can't be crazy and I know this is real. We haven't spoken in over a week now. That was a few days before we left and I found the circus. Carly and I have had this trip planned out for a while now. By the time we left I was still upset with my brother, certain that he's talked to our parents about it by now, but I couldn't miss this trip over a little fight. We'd had our plane tickets booked for weeks and while they weren't too expensive, we're two broke college students with a YouTube channel. I wouldn't exactly describe us as overflowing with cash. It was something we've been looking forward to. We had to go. Carly is unfortunately deathly afraid of flying and wanted to take a train, an idea I entertained. But there's only one train that goes from Colorado to Maine and it costs way more money than either of us has to spend. We were going out to Perpetuity Valley, a small city out in the mountains of Maine. Slowly it's been left to ruin as people move away, and even though it's a city large enough for 60,000 people, it has an actual population of around 30,000. On paper, the reason for the decline was a terrible mix of cost of living, infrastructure maintenance costs, and a lack of jobs. Unofficially though, the people who live there are a bit more divided. Half the people we spoke to didn't even want to talk about it. I get it, sensitive topic and all. Those who did though had plenty of interesting theories. After our plane landed our first day there, we ran into a man at the car rental place who had grown up there before moving. He claimed that he just had an inexplicable dread every time he left his house, almost like he was being warned to leave. The man who owned the inn we stayed at had a theory that most of the people who left were actually missing, never actually making it out of town. Snatched up by some unseen monster that lurks in the woods. We heard many variations of this story. Plenty of normal stories too that fit more into the scope of reality. The cost of living is getting too high, people can't find any jobs, less and less skiers are visiting every year. To be honest, it was sad. I remember the day we arrived at the inn pretty vividly. We pulled up in our car and parked in the hollow parking lot. The inn was clearly upkept regularly and very clean, but the wear showed in less obvious places. The door stuck a little bit when we pushed it open to check in. Inside, the floors were scuffed, Carpets were spread out around the room, probably in an attempt to cover the scratches. Behind the counter was a young woman busying herself with rolling silverware. Next to her at the computer was an older gentleman. He had kind eyes and a gentle but sad smile. His once dark hair was mostly gray, and he had just the start of wrinkles at the edges of his eyes and smile lines. He was dressed warmer than necessary for being in the middle of spring. It had already started to warm up outside. Rain had come in the week before we arrived, melting most of the snow they had left. It was clear why though, since as soon as we walked in, goosebumps broke out on our skin from the chill of the air conditioner. "Hello, welcome." He sounded tired, but he was nice with a faint out-of-place southern accent. "One of you must be Carly." "That would be me, sir." I leaned into the counter, wondering how he could possibly know that just by watching us walk inside. As if sensing my question and our uncomfortable silence, he clarified, "We don't exactly have a large amount of bookings anymore." I blushed before clearing my throat. That thought probably should have occurred to me. "Right, sorry about that." "Nothing to be sorry for, miss. You couldn't do anything about it. I wish I had the luxury not to think of it either, but life goes on. Why don't I get you checked in here and I'll show you to your rooms?" Carly asked. "Sorry, we only booked one room, with 2 beds. Ah yeah, you girls are more than welcome to stay in the same room if you prefer, but I've got plenty of space and no one to fill it. The extra is yours if you want it free of charge." "Oh, thank you so much, sir." I smile, hoping it properly conveys my gratitude. "Are you sure though? It's really no bother. You girls are the first booking I've had come in a week. I've got 20 rooms here. It won't cause me any issues to have you in another one of them." Walking through the halls of the inn, it's charming. It's clear that it's been run by someone older, but the style feels cozy instead of dated. The common area that we pass has a fireplace filled with burning wood. Soft orange hues and long shadows run along the walls, illuminating the silhouettes of some of the sculptures on the side tables. Small acrobat figures performing various daring acts. Pictures rest on all of the walls. One wall has a bunch of newspaper articles on it. I slowed down to read one of them that's dated for around 40 years ago. In big bold letters on the top of the page it reads, "New in T.O. open in Perpetuity Canyon." The photo directly under it displayed the inn in its infant days. It was a little smaller than I remembered it being outside. I assumed they expanded it once business picked up and they were more established. Standing in front of it is a young couple. They have wide smiles, and rather than look at the camera they choose to smile at each other. The man in the photo is clearly a younger version of the innkeeper. At his side is a young woman with light long hair tied up in a large worn jacket she's likely taken off of him. "Hey, I go to ask the man a question, but I realize I hadn't caught his name." "Huh? Oh, sorry, I never gave y'all my name. Everett Wilson. Mr. Wilson, please call me Everett." "Everett, do you run the inn with your wife?" His lips part slightly in surprise, and it takes him a moment to catch his bearings. I realize that he's been absent-mindedly turning over a band on his left ring finger on our way to the rooms. His face takes on a fond but sad quality. "My wife's name is Carla. This inn was actually her idea. She's always loved to host. Will we be meeting her soon?" Carly asks, taking the corner behind Mr. Wilson, guiding us down one more corridor. "Oh, I hope so." He takes a deep breath. For a moment I have to wonder if he's trying not to cry. My Carla has been missing for the last month. Police department just gave up the search this past weekend. Said she probably got taken by wild animals, or left me. You sound like you don't buy that. Oh.